They're getting too close.
No shooting yet. Can you see Dull Knife?
Yes, by Big Rock.
We're not going to surrender.
I want to make peace talk to Dull Knife.
Peace talk with a bunch of Cheyenne on the warpath?
Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien.
Are you Marshal Earp?
That's right.
Well, you better get your people ready for a fight. Dull Knife is headed this way with lots of Cheyenne and war paint.
Where'd you see him?
About 30 miles down the trace from the Indian nations. I changed horses now, rode them, but they'll be here in 2 hours. Let's get yourself time to get organized.
Now, take it easy.
But, Mr.
Look, just take it easy. Yelling Indian and causing the panic isn't going to help us. Mr. Masterson, you take our friend here over to the Long Branch and buy him some cold beer. You go along with Mr. Masterson, and I thank you for your warning.
Why? Shouldn't we get set for them?
It'll be a couple hours before sundown. Cheyenne are too smart to raid a town when it's dark. Anyway, I have a hunch my Indian scouts should be in to tell me about it. You any idea why Dull Knife is sore at this town?
Well, a Crow Indian friend of mine said the Cheyenne were headed here. That's all I know, Mr. Earp.
Buy him all the beer he can drink. Keep asking him not to talk.
Why? Payday isn't till Saturday.
All right. Here. It's enough for supper, too.
Thanks, Wyatt.
Yes, sir.
I didn't signal for the artillery. Take it back in the rack, Harry. Mr. Brother, Mr. Cousins. Me.
Oh.
Now, my friends, what is all this about Dull Knife?
Who? 2 white men kill men who fights. Then they treat Shidive, his wife, as Apaches do. She tell us, then she kill herself for shame.
That is very ugly. Did the wife name the men before she died?
No, Mr. Earp. Only that men who fights told her they belong in Dutch City.
Sikapi Tokimon, Suk, Marshal Earp, Suk.
Shidive, good wife. She fight and scratch white men on face.
Oh.
After it happened, she take knife so. When Dull Knife hear this, very angry.
Well, I don't blame him. But I think Dull Knife and his men were very foolish to have jumped the reservation. They'd even be more foolish to make a raid on Dodge. It's too big a town, too many guns.
Dull Knife never count guns, Mr. Earp.
Well, men with scratches on their face shouldn't be too hard to find. You know anything else about him?
Ho, Napikon, Scout, Newt Long Knife, Edwi.
Men who fights was scout for soldiers, like us. Mr. Brother thinks white men scout when in army with Dull Knife.
Oh.
Well, that'll help us. Are you friendly with Dull Knife?
Yes, but in warpath he's friend to no man.
But you will go to him and make talk, huh?
Nipo Suk.
What talk?
I want you to explain to Dull Knife that we have law here. I will catch the 2 white men that murdered his people, and the law will hang them.
Hang white man for killing Indian? You joke, Mr. Earp.
No, I'm not joking. Murder is murder. I give you my word they'll be caught and hanged. You tell Dull Knife that. Ask him to wait for a message from me.
Wait, how long?
Well, tell him one day.
Ho.
Good. We talk with Dull Knife.
Thank you, my friends. I am ashamed that our white brothers do this, but they will hang for it.
You always tell truth, Mr. Earp.
Dull Knife, Nupi, Ho, Suk.
We do not promise Dull Knife will listen, but we talk and say what you are saying.
Tahome.
Tehome.
Nehe.
Oh, it's not too bad. Pretty good.
Marshal Earp wants to see you.
What for?
Never mind. Come on, you're not under arrest.
No,
See you.
Look, Bat, I haven't got no gun. I
all
didn't do anything. You know that.
Hold it. You fellas will have to come down to the jail. Let's go.
All right, take off your hats. Let me see your forearms. Knife cut, you can go. Roll up your sleeves. How'd you get those marks?
A horse shied from a rattlesnake. I went in some brush.
You can go. I'm holding you. Stand over there. Rest of you men, roll up your sleeves.
Who says so?
I said roll up your sleeves. You stand over there, too. Fingernail scratches. You stand over there. Bare your arms all the way. Two of you can go. Well, Mr. Jameson. Looks like a woman scratched you.
Yes, sir. My wife, she's
Last time it was a black guy, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Better luck next time.
Yes, sir.
All right, two of you murdered an Indian. His wife, she... You want to talk about it? What are their names?
Stevens, Miller, and Dort.
All this whoop to do about an Indian? We done it, we should get a reward.
Is that how you feel about it, Mr. Dort?
You're just picking on me because they kicked me out of the Army.
Oh, you were a soldier, too, huh? Well, how come you haven't got any cross sabers?
I don't like tattooing. Woman scratched me, sure. You prove it was an Indian. I wasn't nowhere near Buffalo Creek.
This time, Earp's really put his foot in it. Arresting men just because some Indian and a squaw got killed. Who's gonna back him on a stupid play like this? Right now, General Custer's on his way to get Sitting Bull. Our own soldiers risking their lives while Earp goes over to the side of these red savages.
Trouble, Wyatt. Looks like they have friends.
Well, that's a big mystery. All right, you lock them up. I'll have a talk with their friends.
All right, let's go. Inside.
Earp, we've come for a showdown. We're at war with the Indians. Are you on their side?
No, Mr. Albright.
Well, then turn Miller, Dort, and Stevens loose. And do it right now.
I arrested those men on suspicion of murder. Not just murder alone.
Ah, she was only a squaw.
That's enough.
Oh, it is it?
Look, Mr. Albright, I had a run-in with you once before. All I did was slap your face when you hired Clay Allison to gun me. Then you forged my name when you tried to buy Jim Kelly's saloon, remember?
Now you can't prove it.
But I can prove you're wearing a gun and leading the mob now. You men sure picked a fine leader. He's as yellow as they come.
You gonna take that, Pete?
He wouldn't draw on a 10-year-old kid with a pop gun. All right, the rest of you drop him. Go on, drop him. You pick him up inside later. Pick him up and take him to Doc McCarty's. Go on, move. Pick up the guns.
There were some men with hefty influence in that crowd.
And we'll let them use their pull. I don't want any men coming up to this jail with guns. Next time they try that, a lot of them are going to go home with buckshot in their legs.
You and I have scouted with Indians. We know them. But you can't expect a lot of scared greenhorns to understand what we're trying to do.
Why not? They can understand common ordinary justice, can't they?
Not for Indians, Wyatt.
Look, I don't care who it's for. The law says you can't murder him. I stand on that.
Everybody does when they're not too scared to think. With all this talk of Dull Knife raiding us and the Sioux on the warpath against Custer. Howdy, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Kenton.
Evening, Bat.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Circuit Attorney.
Wyatt, we came to ask...
Don't weaken now, George. We came to tell you that this nonsense has gone on long enough. It's time for plain talk.
I'm sorry, Wyatt, but public opinion is against you.
Not only that, but you don't have evidence enough for me to prosecute anyone for killing Indians. No corpus delicti, no witnesses. In fact, not even jurisdiction.
I'm working on that, Mr. Kenton.
Not in this town.
Even if you had a case, we couldn't get a jury. We all have to be practical, Wyatt.
You almost fractured Pete Albright's skull. He can sue the city.
Yeah, he deserved what he got. But that doesn't help matters. I'm asking you as your friend to turn those 3 men loose.
Then you and Mr. Kenton will have to make that an order.
Very well. As circuit attorney, order their release. At once.
All right, release the prisoners.
Yes, sir.
2 of those men are murderers and worse.
Now, Wyatt...
I obeyed the order because as city marshal, I have no other choice. But I'm also a United States deputy marshal. And the murder of an Indian happens to be a federal crime.
You show that evidence to a federal judge and see what happens.
That's just what I aim to do, Mr. Kenton. I gave my word that I'd try and break this case. When it's prosecuted, I'm not going to have a peewit like you standing in my way. Happy election returns, gentlemen.
You heard what he said. Why don't you fire him?
He's the best marshal Dodge City ever had. You know, if that boy could learn to think like a politician, he'd be governor someday.
Sure the 3 of them went in there?
Not 5 minutes ago. All of them toting guns.
Stand back. Dort. What happened?
I was pals with Miller and Stevens in the Army. So I kept my mouth shut. But I know they done it. They picked a fight with me and...
I must have gone out the side door. You don't have to go with me.
Quit wasting time. Come on.
Take him on over to the coroner's office.
We could not find Dull Knife.
Maybe he circled around.
We catch 2 men. Come look.
Were they riding out of Dodge?
Yes, 1 horse break leg and gopher hole. When they stop, we put guns on them. Come look.
We sure will, Mr. Cook. Well, Miller and Stevens. Good morning, gentlemen. You didn't kill Dort fast enough. He told us you murdered the Indian.
That's a lie.
Oh,
No.
They must be tried according to law. Untie him.
I do not understand. They kill men who fights in Shido.
My friend, I promised you they would be punished according to law. There's a federal judge at the fort. We'll take him there.
You got no proof.
Mr. Masterson, give me your pad and pencil. We murdered man who fights and are responsible for the death of Shy Dove.
You think we're stupid enough to sign that?
Dull Knife and his men can't be too far away. You want me to turn you over to them?
He's bluffing. He wouldn't do it.
Dull Knife would skin him alive, piece by piece.
No, that's Apache stuff. The Cheyenne mutilate a bad man, and they roast him over a slow fire. How long does a man suffer?
Sun up, sundown. I see many bad Indians live longer.
You still don't want to sign it, huh?
No.
All right. You take him to Dull Knife. Tell him for me these are the men he wants.
No, we'll sign. But you got to promise you'll take us to the fort.
I give my word. We'll tie him double on the good horse. I want you and Mr. Brother to come with us. You were scouts in the Army. It'll help us to have a witness to the confession.
Look, Wyatt. Cheyenne.
Don't move.
Dull Knife and his men, all around us.
We could stand them off if there ain't too many.
No. Hold this.
You aim to surrender?
You promised that...
I want to talk to Dull Knife. Does he speak English?
More better than me.
Good. Come along and introduce us. You keep an eye on them.
They won't move. They got no place to go.
Where did Dull Knife learn English?
Mission school. He go as little boy.
Do you convert?
No, all Cheyenne. Dehome. I am cousin to many battles. This is Mr. Earp, Law Marshal of Dodge City.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have the men who killed your people.
Man who fights, shied of.
The law will punish these murderers.
White men's law will punish white men.
Yes. I will take them to the fort.
No. Give them to me.
Great Chief Dull Knife, ruler of the Cheyenne. Mr. Brother, Mr. Cousin, can tell you that I have always kept my word to them. I will keep my word to you, O Great Chief. The men who committed this crime will be tried by a federal judge. And if found guilty, they will be hanged according to law.
I have traveled many miles to punish these men. I do not trust white men's court.
Some white men don't respect our laws either. In a few cases, it hasn't deserved respect. But there are hundreds of men trying to make our laws honest. It would be foolish for me to lie about it. We've had two kinds of law. One for white men and another for Indians. I'm asking you for a chance to prove that the murder of an Indian will be punished the same as the murder of a white man.
You expect me to believe this talk?
Yes, for your own good.
How is that?
You have asked our great white chief in Washington to let your people leave Oklahoma Territory and go back to Wyoming, true? What will our chief in Washington think when he hears that you have left your reservation for personal vengeance and taken the law into your own hands?
I will ask you a question. The two men who killed Shy Dove and her husband must die. Will you leave hostages to guarantee it? One of the two must be the other white policeman. You make cheap talk.
I will ask my friends. If they consent, they will place themselves in your hands. If they don't, we will fight it out.
Good. Johnny.
My guess is that Dull Knife's only got about 20 men. We stand a good chance of driving them off, especially if we can kill Dull Knife in the first attack. That's about it.
What's the sense in killing Dull Knife and maybe some of us getting it? Come on, Mr. Brother.
No, I go. He stay.
Masi copy. No need. Go.
No, Mr. Brother. I need Mr. Cousin as a witness. You go. You must make Dull Knife understand that a couple of his men must bring the bodies of Shy Dove and Man Who Fights to the fort.
Dull Knife understand. He's big judge.
Well, what am I going to say to Dull Knife if the white man judge turns them loose?
He won't. But I'm still willing to stay here and fight it out.
No, what would that prove? I risked getting killed in a gunfight with a no-account girl. This will prove something. Be seeing you, Marshal.
Don't I know you?
Oh, Judge Norton. Me, Little Wolf.
Yeah, that's right. You helped us in a gun smuggling case. These are bodies of man who fights and his wife?
Me hope.
Things can't be going too well at the fort.
Mercy, Calpe.
Come here.
Uh-oh. Here I go again. Yes, sir?
Our dead were shown to the white men. They are being sent back to us for burial. Your judge and your friend Marshal Earp did nothing. The killers have not yet been hanged.
12 men. A jury have to decide. That takes a little time.
Too much time. We must move by dark tonight. We cannot take you and Mr. Brother with us.
Well, there's nothing I can do.
No. It will be done for you. Honey.
You have been found guilty of murder in the first degree. You attempted to defend yourselves by saying the 2 young people you killed were Indians. Such a defense is an insult to this court and to the laws of this republic. Murder of any human being is punishable by death. Marshal Earp?
Yes, sir.
You will deliver these 2 men into the custody of the Provost Marshal. I'll send a written order for their immediate execution by hanging. Court's adjourned.
Come on.
I have conquered my evil temper. There has been too much killing by Indians and white men. My heart is sick. We are all children of Great White Spirit. We behave like grizzly bear and Apache. I have been thinking of your friend, Marshal Earp. I do not believe he lied to me. I think he has done his best for justice. I am sure there must be many white men with good hearts like his. Therefore, I am setting you free. Go. Silence!
Thank you.
You tie not to its gun. Tejo me.
Great Chief, these are the bodies of the 2 men. They were hanged according to law.
Look. The copy.
Great Chief, we are taking them to Dodge for burial. Any objection?
No. It is justice. Tejo me.
Tejo me. You have understanding.
Well, little man, what do you say now?
Two men, hanged for the murder of man who fights in Shida. Will it change anything?
Someday. Maybe 100 years from now.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.